All right, man. I think we live. What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube land?
Yeah, yeah.
What it
It
do,
is
everybody out there in YouTube land? How's
JK. What up?
everybody doing? What's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me see what we got in here, man.
The fifth house in there.
She in the
Shay in
building.
there. Yeah. What's up, Shay? Stacy was here bright and early. What up?
What's going on, everybody? So, man. So, listen. You know, some movies require our attention. We used to be like some cold breaker aficionados uh in our
Yeah,
heyday. Y'all could catch us in rare form on some movie breakdowns. Uh we got a couple classics. Boy, if Noble ever find that file, what's that one, Noble?
yeah.
Uh First
What
John
you got? The
Carter,
Carter, the first class ticket to hell.
first class ticket to
Yeah.
hell.
Um.
What was the other one, bro? Houston, we
Yeah.
have a problem.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
Houston, we have a
What
problem.
movie was that? Yeah.
Uh, I forget, bro. But then what was the other one we had? I'm just thinking about that foul period, man.
Yeah.
That was a classic. Moonwalk 13.
Moonwalk 13 was something else,
That
bro.
was something
Yeah,
classic.
yeah,
So yeah, man. Boy. I wish some of y'all was around then, man. I
yeah,
really do, man. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm playing the character nostalgia right now.
yeah,
Going back in the priesthood heyday.
yeah.
Uh, you know, those were some times, man. That's when blog talk was way ahead of his time, right, Noble?
Way ahead of his time.
Way ahead of his time, man. We had people
Way,
was able to come in the chat and put their
yeah.
hand up and
You could open up people's mic.
open up people's mics.
Man, we may need to jump back on a platform for old time's sake because it's still there.
That account still active over
And
there?
no, the account ain't still active, but Blog Talk is still active. Cause
Wow.
you, cause you know Beverly, she on it still. She ain't never went nowhere.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? It may be active, man, because Miss Terry, I gave the account to her and she started manning the ship. So she was the last one I had to sign into it.
Yeah, man. Boy, that blog. Oh, we used to come on with remember the beautiful Sea Asia?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Man,
Yeah.
man, bro. But
And
anyways, man,
you going way back.
you're going way back, bro. Like y'all don't know, man. Y'all see us now. We got a long tenured history at this thing. Some of y'all might have
Yeah.
caught us over on Brother Rich platform recently and went back in them
Mhm.
archives. Y'all done found some nuggets back there. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie, no. But I went back and looked at some of them old videos in the comments, man. People was like, "Wow, this information is relevant 10 years later."
Oh yeah, man.
Oh man, I'm telling y'all, it's bona
Hmm.
fide. Every time we touch down over there, it's gonna be classic, man.
Yeah.
But um, but yeah, man. But anyways, man, welcome to the platform. We streaming this on both platforms, The Imagination Guru and Hip Hop Astrology TV. Welcome. I'm one half of the priesthood, Minister Jude. This is my brother from another noble Anpu. And tonight we want to discuss this recent Disney movie, Inside Out Part 2.
So yeah. Let me
Yep.
turn this camera off. Yeah. Yeah. Man, well, give us a quick summary of number one if people ain't never seen number one, and what was your faves in number one, and
Number one. And first, hey, before we get going, y'all get the likes up, hit the likes. I see we got 50 people in here. Appreciate everybody. Y'all get the likes up. Um, get the algorithm pumping. Comment, like, share, subscribe. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Get those notifications. That way you guys can stay up to date whenever we come on these YouTube streets and check out what we got to offer to the people. But man, how many years ago has that been, man?
Man, that's a good freaking question, man. I'm gonna go to Google, man. Let's see. When did 2015, man.
God.
June 19th, 2015. So that's 9 years ago.
So they put it out. They basically put it out on the anniversary of, really,
Yeah. Yeah, they 9 year anniversary.
9 years ago. Inside Out came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right, because that's right in sync with the Ministry, the IG joint.
Yeah.
That's about right. But so yeah, man. So uh Inside Out part number one, man. My favorite character, and y'all probably gonna be like Jews just being biased, but I'm gonna be biased. My favorite character was Bing Bong,
Yeah.
who played the part of Riley's imagination. Uh Now you could view this multiple ways. Like if we always ask this question, who actually saved the day? And
Yeah.
of course it was a culminated effort. Sadness played a key role. Joy obviously played a key role. But if I had to push all my chips to the center of the table, Bing Bong saved the day. And he didn't get a chance to even see it through.
Yeah.
He didn't even get a chance to see it through. Which reminds me of another story. Somebody had to lose their life in order to save some other people.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, hey, right? So
Right.
and but it was an overall great film, man. They really went into uh, different aspects and different emotions. I think I know what Noble's favorite one was, because he always mentions it, but I'm gonna let him say it himself.
Yeah. I think that Bing Bong definitely saved the day in part one. Um but I'm gonna go with Discuss in part one, because especially at that time, what I was going through at the same time, I really resonated with it. Discuss had tricked anger. If y'all remember part one, joy and sadness have to get back into the brain, back into command. And command ain't nothing but a fancy high tower office space, literally like a high rise building. And so joy and sadness get, they use the imagination and they end up have this power wagon that powers them all the way up back to command, and they get plastered on the window. And so all the other emotions is like, oh, basically, there they go. Let's let them in. But the only way they could get in was Discuss tricked anger and made him blow his top, which is fire. And then she grabbed him and turned him to the side and burnt a hole in the glass so joy and sadness can come back in. And I was like, oh, you being angry is not good enough for change. You have to become disgusted, because whatever your perception is about disgust, nobody stays in disgust. Now, some people can live with bed bugs, some people can't, right? So it's just certain things that whatever your level of disgust is, that's your no-no. That's your line. You draw the line at disgust, right? And so for me, she saved the day. Because the way I personally related to it was, especially at that time, it's 2015. The next year, 2016, that's when Fat Boy Rick Ross came out with "It's Time to Buy Back the Block," and I was like, yeah, let's buy the block. And because see, me and Jew had put some work in. Shit, Jew, when we come out with resolution444.com.
Oh my God.
When was
We
that,
talking
bro?
like 2013,
Yeah,
maybe.
easy 2013. And so, I had a proposition on the table by the way of a vote, and people used to go onto this website and they used to make a vote. Salute to, I know for sure, Red Pill. Salute. I think he signed off on that thing. Um, and I was like, let's take over Detroit. I was on that move. Like, hey, let's put some money together and let's go Bob Detroit. Let's go get it. You know what I'm saying? And so my point is, in 2016, I started to really become disgusted with my own financial status, and I wanted to challenge myself to do better. And I decided to get into real estate. And I pretty much put everything on hold and gave it to Minister Jew. Got it. Y'all got problems? Go to Minister Jew. Y'all talking spirituality? Go to Minister Jew. I'm about to figure this thing out over here. You know what I'm saying? And so it was disgust that did it for me. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at Disgust, she bougie. Like she got her weight up. You know what I'm saying? She about her Prada. She about
She
her
be
business.
flossing.
You
She be
know what I'm
flossing. She be
saying?
flossing, dog.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was discussed for me in part one. You know,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so tonight we gonna talk about Inside Out Part Two, and as always, I made a slide. So I think I got like 12 slides. So I guess we can kind of bounce
yeah,
ideas
yeah,
off each other, Noble, off the slides or anything you don't see on there. We just gonna have a conversation. But I kind of wanted to give people a pictorial
yeah.
too, so they can kind of see. And listen, sorry if we spoiling the movie for y'all. Hate to be movie spoilers. But if you're not,
Hey, y'all supposed to go see this thing.
yeah, if you're not too hung up on that, maybe when you hear this, now when you do go into the movie theater, your eyes will be open to a different perspective when you're in there too.
Yeah. And I
Um,
yeah. And how many people in the chat, if you did see Inside Out Part 2, Bing Bong was in the movie as a piece of what's the word, you memorabilia? But
yes, he
I'm
was.
not going to
Yes,
tell
I
y'all
didn't catch
where.
it. I didn't even
You ain't
catch it.
even catch it. Yeah, so I'm not going to tell y'all where. But in my Patreon, I do giveaways. I pop up. I'm like, listen, man, I'm gonna pay for somebody lunch, $50 lunch on me, couple lunches on me. You know, um, but if you familiar with the movie Part One, you know who Bing Bong is, and you saw Part Two. Where was Bing Bong in Part Two? And I got you on lunch. All right, but go ahead, bro.
All right, man. So hold on. Let me see some here. Do I even have this up? Give me a second, bro. Excuse.
Yeah, do your thing.
Let me go back here. Now let me go present, and then let's see if I share my screen and go to this window. Boom, boom. All right, man. So just getting a little feedback. Um, can you see my screen, Noble? Are we
Yeah, I'm
good
looking.
back there?
Yep, yeah. Yeah, we good.
We good? We good?
Yep.
All right. So man, so again, man, peace to oh somebody got it, Noble. You owe somebody some lunch in there, bro.
What they say?
It looks like Mr. Phoenix says when she was sleeping. Next to Joy.
When who was sleeping?
Next to Joy when she was sleeping.
Yep. Facts. Yep. Bing Bong was right there.
Now
Yep.
that's interesting. They chose hanging what Biggie say? Hanging pictures on my wall. It was all a dream,
Mm-hmm.
right? Imagination, right? But anyway, so um the one of the most important concepts in this movie, in my opinion, was this thing that they called the sense of self, Noble,
Mm-hmm.
right? Give me your thoughts on that. How did you perceive how they implemented that into the movie, man?
The sense of self,
Yes.
man, bro. Um, so the sense of self being a collective.
Mm-hmm.
of memories.
Mm-hmm.
And um I'm about to kind of get in my favorite part to a degree, but I'll just answer the question. Sense of self being a collective of memories, which in return forms belief.
Yes.
And I often say trauma that's past the point of incidents, meaning it happened, some time had passed, but we're not over it, simply is reliving a memory because you're not going through the thing right now. So what are you doing? Reliving it mentally. So you activate in the memory. So how it was integrated obviously comes through the different senses of what we call emotion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now that's
Yeah.
interesting too, because if you're not living the experience anymore, but you're still feeling the agony or the pain, the despair, the resentment. I remember it was a case study done on this, man, where I want y'all to listen to this very carefully. The agony of the memory, according to this one particular case study, the agony of the memory is worse than the actual event itself, Noble.
Ooh, we crazy, crazy,
And they
crazy.
said that um, the projection time is even faster
Yeah.
away from the actual event horizon or the moment the situation happened. Like that recall is so fast, bro,
Mm-hmm.
that it literally it puts you in a shock state or a traumatized state, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, um,
Yeah.
but one of the things that I saw in the movie that I thought was very interesting was, remember when uh, they were on the ice, Riley, Grace, I forget the other friend's name,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, they yell from the sideline, Grace hadn't scored yet, right? And so Riley, being the best player, maneuvered around the ice so that she can make an assist to Grace to actually make the goal, because in her mind, her friend hadn't scored yet, Noble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she kicks the puck to Grace, and Grace slaps in a goal. And that memory, joy, which is in Riley's brain, takes that memory and takes it down to this place
Yeah.
where they drop these balls down into the water. Now you know what I'm gonna call
Long.
that, Noble.
Yeah. That they take it to a place called Long Term.
Yes,
That's where that was.
right. But they made a play on water, waves,
Mm-hmm.
right?
The abyss.
There you go. Which they were giving you the rendition of the subconscious mind there,
All day.
right?
And it ain't no secret about it, y'all. This ain't. I mean, the whole purpose was Joy is they're up in command in the office, and then she gets on the elevator and go all the way down. So if
Yes,
you're in the brain, because that's the whole point of the office, you're in command. The brain, you're going down in the brain. You
yes,
know what I'm saying? So yeah,
yes.
yeah. Which technically, conscious thought we know is the neocortex. And then as you start to go in what's called the midbrain and even go down to something else called the lower brain, this concept of the real trinity is you have three parts of a brain. a triune. It's called the triune brain. You can look it up. You got the old reptilian brain, cerebellum on top of your pretty much your neck connecting to your spine. Then you got a midbrain, aka the limbic brain, aka also known as the woman's brain. Okay. And then you got the conscious mind known as Neo in the Matrix, the Neo brain, the neocortex brain. So you got three levels of brain within you. And so when you start to go what we call into the lower brain, midbrain, and lower brain, you start to get into long-term memories or what we call automatic processes, shit you
There you
don't
go.
think about, blink, saliva production, things of that nature.
Right. And so it's interesting here when you know how you do know when you look at the wall clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
One sense of self, right,
Self. Yeah.
is opposite 7 partnerships,
Yeah.
right? So the dichotomy of Riley's sense of self was validated because she included her partner or her friend in something. And they took that memory and encoded it into long term, um, which made Riley feel like she was what she remember Joy kept hitting that string, and every time she hit that string, that chord, Abe Lincoln, the mystic chords of memory, right? No,
Yeah, don't start, man. Don't get me started, man.
right? Every time she
Yeah.
hit that chord,
Mm-hmm.
you would hear Riley's voice say,
I'm
"I'm
a
a
good
good
person.
person."
Yeah.
So because she aided and literally assisted somebody else, the value of herself and how she saw herself increased.
Mm-hmm.
So Riley wanted to make sure Grace scored a goal. Now listen to this. Now I mention this all the time, but it's beautiful how you can see it everywhere you go. Job 42:10. Job was rewarded when he did what? When he prayed for his friends. Job's sense of stability, sense of riches, sense of health was restored because he wanted to aid and assist a partner, a friend. And so that's what actually placed value in Riley's mind about herself, which was to lift somebody else up. Very interesting concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting concept. Now, Noble mentioned it. The sense of self expanded once memories got sent over the long-term memory. So every time they would take a memory that they encoded and took it back over the long-term memory, what happened? No, the sense of self kept growing.
Right.
And getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But y'all always hear me talk about this structure in the brain called the hippocampus and long-term memory formation. You listen, if you want to be somebody or do something or have something, you have to make the proper adjustments mentally. And listen. This is why scripture tells you, I think this is Mark 11:24, tells you when you pray as though you received it already and you shall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just make it plain. What are they saying? You have to make a memory of the event before it even happens.
You gotta repeat that.
Mark 11:24. When you pray as though you have already received it and you shall. So that means in order to receive something, You have to commit it to memory as if it's already taken place. You have to go in there and conscientiously form the memory so that you take it down into the basement of the subconscious mind to make it a long-term memory. Because once it gets over the long-term memory, what did you say what happens once it get over the long-term memory?
What's that?
You start to believe it.
Oh, no. You're going to believe it. It's going to be a wrap. Yeah. It's going to be a wrap. It becomes a personality trait.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So now here's a rendition of the process. See, listen. The conscious mind do all the analyzing, the logical thinking. And now look at this now. Short-term memory. Now, my members know when I'm in the calls, I always say these 3 words at the end: practice, practice, practice. What I'm really saying is get that thing out of short-term memory.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm really saying. Mm-hmm. Get it out of short-term memory. This is why I say memorizing these scriptures. And listen, I showed that case study multiple times. The people who associate a goal with a scripture and tie it together, those people achieve it faster than the person who doesn't commit verses or holy text to memory.
Right.
So you want to get it out of short-term memory and make the transfer, man. Because once you make the transfer over in the long-term memory, look what happens. Because what do they call it? They call that beautiful flower-shaped light image. They called it her sense of self. But look what's over here in the unconscious mind: self-worth, self-confidence. All these self things are subconscious programming. Mm-hmm. Your identity, your beliefs. There go bing bong. Your imagination. Now watch this. Now I just had Valerie send me a message. She's a member. Valerie sent me a message via Instagram yesterday where she's having all of these moments of intuitive insight. And I told her, I said, once you start to commit these principles in the long-term memory, what happens is your intuition gets stronger because the structure that you're actually using to watch this. Now, I'm not making this up. Look what it says. The hippocampus is responsible for what? For long-term memory. So as you massage and activate this particular structure, what happens is all of these byproducts of what that structure dictates starts to come online.
Mm-hmm. 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 Because you literally have given yourself. We was just talking about this last night on our call. You're literally giving yourself more brain capacity. So the superconscious, i.e., what we would call intuition, psychic ability, will start to come online. If we showed you a picture of brain cells, you know what I mean? It's like kind of like 2 different hands. And when you start thinking about things, they interlock with one another. And this is called a synaptic channel. They start to interlock with each other and mingle and strengthen. The more you strengthen with it, the more that thing swells up. The less you think about it and you don't have it to long-term memory, you don't know it, you don't have the brain capacity, literally. That's why you can't recite it, which now makes me think, now, because see, bro, we just put something together. Maybe we get into it a little later. You got to score 100% when you come rocking with me. When you come to some module that you start studying these principles, you can't move to the next module unless you score 100%. Period. Because you really have to know this stuff. But go ahead, bro.
Oh no, man, that's what it is. That's what it is, right? So and I wanted to show this, and I haven't quite got to the bottom of this yet, but I will. I will. I'm going to get to the bottom of this scene, but I couldn't resist sharing it because I just wanted to put it in the ethers for people. Now, when they were trying to get back to Riley's sense of self, right? They had to go down something called the stream of consciousness. That's literally what they called it in the movie.
That's what they called it. Yes.
Right. And so they are trying to find these, whatever they can to ride on. So at first they hopped on some pizza, right? He's, and then they finally was able to hitch a ride eventually on some broccoli, right? And as this scene was developing, Riley is with we'll just call them the expert hockey players, because she came in basically as a rookie. There was already a team of players that were really good at playing the sport, and she was trying to make an impression. Excuse me. Which is interesting too, Noble. They chose to use envy, right?
Yeah.
To get her to make these impressions. I found that interesting, right? How they came to that conclusion to use envy, because the way that they use envy didn't feel like the way that we typically equate envy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It almost felt like they used envy to showcase a it was almost like a admiration, more so.
Right.
The way that they infused envy into the scenario, it just felt like she didn't envy them, she admired them, but maybe that's the other side of envy. I don't know. But anyway, so they're riding on this stream of consciousness, right? And they're asking Riley what's her favorite band. So she names a band that's in her age bracket, right? And so the other mature hockey players kind of looked at her a little strange, like, you still listen to that? Right? Because they're a little bit more mature. They're further into their puberty than she is. She just turned 13, but they probably 15, 16, they're further developed. So then the sense of embarrassment kicks in, right? Which is another interesting sidebar. What they're really suggesting is, when you feel embarrassed, you'll lie.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
I know we can relate to that. Absolutely.
Right. So then she lies in the form of sarcasm, though. So she's like, well, no, I really don't listen to that band, and acts as if she's, she likes the band that the older kids are listening to. As soon as she told that fib, story, lie, whatever you want to call it, there was an earthquake that completely shook up Riley's stream of consciousness and totally derailed the plan. I said, now, damn, Jew. They're putting emphasis on this stream of consciousness that's going to get you to this holy land or this holy place where your sense of self resides. It's something about lying that causes an interruption to that. So, I went and scoured scripture. I didn't post it here today, but boy, I did come across some interesting passages. Boy, I think was it Ecclesiastes or was it Proverbs, Jude, that talked about lying and how we shouldn't do it, because basically, and I'm paraphrasing, they were saying that we're all entangled.
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it's just very interesting concept, about not being honest or forthcoming, um, stagnates your progress in some sort, right? No, you got any comments on that, man?
No, I mean, what's happening in that scenario for sure is, especially if the lie is it, and you got to be crazy if it's not premeditated and practiced upon.
Mm-hmm.
Because only a crazy person is going to premeditate the lie and really practice it out, right? Um, if it's not premeditated upon and practiced upon, then that's going to interrupt your stream of consciousness, which means, again, you know, you may get off the hook, but that it ain't even short term memory, let alone long term memory. That's why if you be asked about something, a little later or whatnot, you fuck around, get caught. Right? Excuse my language, mess around, get caught. You know what I mean? Because that literally interrupts your whole stream of consciousness in of itself. You know what I'm saying? So I found that part really, really, really interesting. Because when we talking streams of consciousness, man, you really talking about electrical patterns in your brain.
Yes.
And to disturb an electrical pattern that is medically speaking, biologically speaking, that's dangerous.
Very, very, very.
It's called a
That's more
stroke,
than
ladies and
dangerous.
gentlemen. It's called an aneurysm. Like,
Yes.
that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So
Um, now I want to read a comment. I think somebody nailed that envy uh,
yeah,
analysis that
quantum
we were
saint.
making. This
Yeah.
Quantum Saint says envy is the corrupted seed of admiration. If the environment was self-loathing or self-doubt or comparison, it'll corrupt the admiration. I don't think I could have said it any better.
Right.
Right. So that's great feedback from Quantum Saint. Thank you for that. Um, now here's the
Yes.
sense of self, right? Trying to be uprooted, uh, which was a very difficult thing to do, by the way.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm curious. Did you take these pictures or did you just Googled them?
I googled these.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, we thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause see, I was a little reluctant. I ain't want to, I ain't want to disturb people because my movie theater, I went twice, by the way, y'all. And I got people behind me. They telling you don't use your phones because it did the light of your phone. And I'm like, damn, I gotta take notes though and whatnot. So, because I really wanted to take a picture of a certain scene. But anyway, go ahead, bro. I was just wondering.
Nah, man. So anxiety, which really came and tried to steal the show,
Yeah.
um,
Bogus. Bogus.
was bogus, man.
Man, this cat's bogus.
Go into anxiety. What you got on anxiety?
Oh, this cat's bogus. I mean, this cat is he kicks out all of the emotions. So all of the core members, they get kicked out. And anxiety is all about, and he tell you, or she tells you, what did he tell Fear? You're afraid of the stuff you do see. I am afraid of the stuff that I don't see or Riley don't see.
Exactly.
And I said, oh my God. And so later, I don't know if you got it in here when we get to Imagination Land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety is running, and all throughout this movie, anxiety is running false projections through the worst case scenario. It was crazy. We're not going to go to we're going to get kicked off the team. Nobody's going to eat lunch with us, and everybody's going to laugh at us, and the only person that's going to know our name is the teachers. I mean, running every kind of worst case scenario possible in the imagination.
Oh my God.
So to depict this person as, for lack of a better word, crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Because anxiety was kookaloo. running around like Cougaloo. Yeah, that's crazy. And if you take one thing from this movie and hear me closely, don't you ever run worst case scenarios as the majority of your thought, as your consumption. I get playing chess. I get understanding risk, right? Like I understand that as a real estate investor, I understand risk. I understand that. But to sit there and be consumed, that's the thing. To be consumed by worst case scenarios where it now literally immobilizes you, because that's what fear does. It immobilizes you. That's dangerous.
And remember, what did fear tell anxiety when anxiety showed up on the scene? He said,
You're going to be
"Oh,
my best friend.
you're going to be
Yeah.
my best friend."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to tell you that fear and anxiety are first cousins.
Yeah, they roomies.
They say it again, no.
Yeah, they sellies.
That's right.
They cellmates, you know.
That's right. So I want to read this verse. I think it's very important. This is Philippians 4:6-7. It says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving." See, that's what anxiety does. It keeps you on edge, and scripture is trying to remind you, no. Don't be anxious, because that's going to produce the anxiety. Right? And anxiety, man, listen, she was a character, man, because once she took control of command center, she literally started to uproot Riley's previous sense of self.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Literally. I mean, snatched the whole thing off the mantle and started to weave a new sense of self. Now, this is now let me tell you, it's wisdom in this though, because everything can be reverse engineered when you understand what you're watching. So what this means is this: the only way the sense of self became erected, the way that they depicted it. You ever seen a flower growing new leaves? Right? Mm-hmm. They would show every time they went and dropped a new memory down in long-term memory, another sprout would pop up to Riley's new sense of self. So what this means is this, and this is for all the people practicing any form of manifestation, any type of prayer, any type of meditate, any of that. What they are depicting to you in that scene is this: it takes time for you to uproot your old self.
Oh yeah.
You have to have, and this is why the imagination is the ultimate hack, because it is here where you can create new memories without having to experience them objectively. You see, so if you can, the more pictorials you can make of who you would like to be, the more quote unquote crystal balls end up in the subconscious that says, no, this is who I am now. Or as scripture would say, put off the former conversation and be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling you though something that the conversation piece that you're having about yourself, to yourself, about yourself, has to change. and then you start to uproot some things. So I thought that was brilliant how they showed how you got to get the reps in order to form a new concept of yourself, right?
Right.
You know, you got anything you want to add, Noble?
No, man. No, not at this particular junction, you know. But
Okay. So, so, so this is an old prayer. I made this years ago because this concept is not new to Jew. But I made this prayer years ago. What did I call it? The prayer of self-worth.
right.
Why? Because you have to condition yourself with the new concept of yourself. And I'm going to tell you why a lot of people don't get what they want out of this thing called life to varying degrees. It's because they don't think that they're worthy to have it. Who they are as an individual. See, I say it all the time. Noble will tell you, I say all the time. I call nobody like, bro, we the best, bro. I say we the greatest to ever do this, bro.
Yeah.
In fact, I should have took a picture of it, but some of y'all probably know it because y'all seen it when I be airing in another location in my house. When you look behind me, there's a picture of Mount Rushmore, of my Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah.
I got myself, my brother Anpu, Jewel Pookrum, and Bobby Hemmett are on Minister Jew's Mount Rushmore of consciousness.
Right.
Now, in the movie, Down in Imagination Land, and Noble mentioned this to me before I actually saw the movie. And then when I saw it, I said, oh, there you go. And in Riley's mind, she had built her own Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
I said, now, wow, this is interesting. Look at, we always say you got to find yourself in the story, right, Noble? So I thought about that. I said, damn, Jew. And then I thought about one of Joseph Murray techniques where he said, listen to this carefully. He said, you are to bring whatever business you in or field of work or your life path, your purpose, whatever you think that is. He said, find the greatest people in that field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether dead or alive, right? He said, to you, who are the greatest people in that field? And he said, you should sit down in your imagination and have dinner with them and talk to them.
Yeah.
Sit down and bring them into your home and have a conversation with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know how many times Reverend Ike sat on my couch.
Yeah.
You know how many times Neville Goddard sat on my couch? Neville Goddard can ring my doorbell all the time. You see? Mm-hmm. So now let me show you this in scripture, though. See, nothing. I'm telling you, that book, y'all can say what you wanna. Boy, I'm telling you. The Christ went to the mountaintop, right? Where he had the transfiguration happen, right? Who popped up on the mountain, though? The greatest of the greats.
Moshe.
And Elijah.
Yeah.
The greatest of the greats popped up on the mountain. See? So what were they? And when they popped up on the mountain, there was an increase in light in the Christ. When he went and put his physical body in now these people are quote unquote Elijah got taken away on a chariot, and Moses' body got taken away, and nobody knows where. Right?
Mm-hmm. One of the dopest.
The two greatest in that Old Testament show up to the Christ, and all of a sudden he turns into a light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to ask yourself in your field what you doing, right? Whatever you doing. If you a bodybuilder, damn it, you need to have Arnold Schwarzenegger in your living room having a conversation. See, you see how that work?
Mm-hmm.
That helps you condition yourself to feel like you the best, you the greatest. So what did you do? Oh no, I feel like I'm the best. I'll be like Kanye. I say this all the time to Kanye. When you talk about classics, do my name get brought up? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I look at my brother Noble as the best. And so this is how you need to approach your situation. And they show that in the movie, but you have to change the concept of yourself and put a new picture of yourself in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's another thing. When the stream of consciousness got broken by the lie, right, Noble?
Mm-hmm.
They got stranded for a minute and they felt like they were completely out of options, right? So anger, fear, disgust, because they all looking at Joy as the problem solver. She's the leader, right?
Right.
So when the lie shook up the stream of consciousness and broke they they plan A got taken out, they were all kind of like worried and they looked at Joy and they said, Joy, what are we going to do? And Joy, for the first time, had a moment where she broke down.
And cried, man. I could have cried in that moment, you know. Yeah.
She broke down.
Yeah.
And what did she say, Noble?
Maybe this is what life is like as an adult.
Yes.
When you don't be as happy as much.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But then she told them something else. She says, I don't know what we're going to do, right?
Mm-hmm. But what we gonna do?
No. But before she said that, she gave her reasons why she was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
She said, because all y'all do is complain.
Mm-hmm.
Complain. Now listen, people. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Repeated complaining rewires your brain to make future complaining more likely. Over time, you find it's easier to be negative than to be positive. Now, here's the kicker. Regardless of what's happening around you, it could be the best thing ever happened to you, and you'll still find a way to be negative about it.
Mm-hmm.
Complaining becomes your default behavior, which changes how people perceive you.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the kicker. Watch this. Listen. Complaining damages other areas of your brain as well. Research from Stanford University has shown that complaining shrinks what?
Mm-hmm.
That hippocampus that's doing all the work to get that thing consolidated over in the long-term memory. So every time you complaining about something, somebody did something to you, you feel you in perpetual victim mode all of the time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what you're doing. You're crippling your ability to ever problem solve, ever.
Man, listen, man. See, I showed this in a slide some years ago about complaining in a stressful situation by replaying it not only destroys the hippocampus, but it creates false stories.
That's right.
It is called declarative memories, also known as explicit memories. And then guess what? You will forget actual facts, such as they gave an example, such as George Washington was the first president. So let me get this straight. You mean to tell me that if I bombard myself with stress, complaining, I will literally start to re-augment actual factual things in my mind and forget it or put something else there as an actual fact, which is totally false. And you literally will forget George Washington was the first president.
Yes. Yes.
See what y'all see on the screen. And if that's been proven, see, this thing is so serious that we should never complain again. And if we understand that, hey, well, that's kind of hard to do because I'm in the Western Hemisphere, I got kids, I got baby mama, baby daddy, whoopty whoop whoop. You may have a different perspective on silence.
Yes.
Because see, this stuff literally damages the brain.
And this is not philosophy, people.
No,
See,
no.
and they have to hear that clearly. This is not philosophy. See, you can't volley this and for this over the tennis net with me or an Anpu and give you a bunch of hypotheses. These are facts. Period. So there's nothing to philosophize about other than what's going to be the corrective action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But look what it says, Noble. When it shrinks this hippocampus, an area of the brain that's critical to problem solving and intelligent thought.
Mm.
So then you become, excuse me, stupid.
Mm-hmm. Complaining actually creates Alzheimer's. That's what they're really saying.
Damage to the hippocampus is scary, especially when you consider that it's one of the primary brain areas destroyed by Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh? 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 So I think this the scene you wanted to get to, right? Noble, go ahead.
What's that? Also, we in imagination land, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know. So in this in here, if y'all can see, that is those are some playing cards. So you may see, maybe, I don't know, I can barely see, but maybe you may
It's
see
like a
like
3 of club in the
yeah,
front.
right, the 3 of club on the front right hand side and whatnot. Now we cannot, and I'm not taking this for granted, because see, they done had these cards in here in part 1 as well in Imagination Land,
Sure did.
and they are back again. Now I have a very dear, I call him my sheikh. He was my, he was my initiation into the Nation of Islam and into mysticism as well. And we spoke about 2 weeks ago, and he is, he's an avid of the Destiny cardology system, where these cards, because it's 52 cards in a playing deck, and when you cats is playing spades, you're really dealing with a calendar system, because it's 52 cards in the deck, 52 weeks in a year. And notice you got 4 suits: the diamonds, the cups, and, well, the diamonds, the hearts, the spades, and the clubs. Those are really symbolic for the 4 elements. So you're really, which are the 4 seasons, you're really dealing with a divination system. Okay.
Uh-oh.
And so now, inside of what go back to what he told me, one of the people who were a gatekeeper of this system, a very old European guy, didn't know that my guy is, what we call black or whatever. And he told him, we never wanted the darkies to get this information. And he said, oh, why? Why is that? Well, we've been controlling things for so long without them having it. We just never wanted them to have this information. He told me this 2 weeks ago about, and now me and Jew, we often talk about this particular system on, I don't know what they did to understand how to say, well, Jew, you is a non-a-club. You're like, I don't know what they did to do that part, but we have been in some of the most jaw-dropping in awe because the way that it worked, you may not talk to somebody for years. And see, it's one thing to have your own birth card, but then you have a daily card, which is the card of the day for you, right?
Yeah.
And you may have not talked to somebody for years, and they pop up and give you a call out the blue, and you go check this system, you're holding their card for the day. And you just so happen to talk to them, and you ain't talked to these people in years. Like, we've seen it happen like that before, right?
Yes.
So anyway, within this beautiful divination system, joy and the positive emotions, in a sense, the original emotions, these are cubicles that you see on the screen. And so anxiety is on the big screen, having everybody in their cubicle run false projections.
Yes.
So joy in the crew go into one of the cubicles. And the cubicle they went to was the good old Nana Diamond, which is my birth card. So, like you said earlier, you got to find yourself in the story.
That's
This is
right.
important. I don't think we probably don't say that as much as we used to, but it's important that you really see yourself in the story when you're looking at anything on TV, movie, whatever. Okay. And so joy comes in, and as anxiety is running false projections, joy is like, or we could see it this way, and just kept rebutting it and bringing in positive solutions. And it all starts to shift in the imagination from the realm of two cards, the nine of diamond, which is universal values. Kanye West is one of these, to show you how, ingenious in the sense it is, right? 50 Cent is as well. And the 10 of club.
Yep.
Because remember, the worker dude, because Joy was like, now who's with me? And everybody around being scared, and somebody finally like, forget it, I'm gonna roll with you, which is the 10 of club. Now, in this particular system, the clubs, like you're playing, remember, I'm talking about playing cards, okay? See, diamonds is obvious, it's the money. The hearts is obvious, it's talking about the emotion. See, in astrology, we say the diamonds are the earth energy. The heart energy is the water energy. The club energy is more of it's fire, but it's also, it's a
Mental.
lot, but it's very mental. Okay. And so the 10 of club, all 10s represent success, period. All of them. But success in work, success in what? Success in love, if you attend the heart, success in work, in your career, if you attend a spade. Excuse me, in the club arena, oh, that's some mental stuff all day long. This is like the philosopher. This is old school, like Benjamin Franklin. You're a philosopher. You got like, you're a fireman, you messing with lightning, so you're a scientist, you're a clockmaker, you a diplomat, you work in local government, and you created an abolitionist society to free the slaves all at the same time, and you got a newspaper. That's like 9 different gigs.
You're a genius.
It's like you're a genius. And so I think what they're showing you here is two principles on how you are really supposed to tap in and really take control of your life. and whatnot. So when I saw
Say that
that,
again,
I
Noble.
was
Say that last part again.
so how you can tap in these two principles, how you can tap in and take control of your life.
Because as soon as Joy started to make different scenarios an option, all of the cards fell and went away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he mentioned Kanye West. So Kanye West got a rhyme when he says, I prayed to the skies and I changed my stars.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh my God, is that a black card? Right? And so they're showing you down here in imagination land, this is where everybody is working to convince you of what is or isn't, or what the great late William Blake said, what seems to be is to those to whom it seems to be.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I want to read this. I want to read this because everything was about self-image, self-esteem, self-confidence, how you saw yourself, Riley. Let's read this, y'all. This is from Psychology Today, self-esteem, health, and the hippocampus. In recent research, and they give the study in 2018, study authors highlight the role of the hippocampus for both self-esteem and physical health, seeking to understand if the hippocampus is part of the brain circuitry connecting self-esteem and greater physical health. So now we got this guy playing a major role here. In reviewing the prior literature, researchers offer key observations. First, higher self-esteem is associated with better health outcomes and longevity, likely via higher reported levels of positive states, including optimism, relaxation, gratitude, and what?
Joy.
Joy. Oh,
Mm.
wow. Lower self-esteem, in contrast, is associated with, now watch this, y'all, negative health outcomes with increased risk of depression and what?
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Ding, 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 ding. Huh? So here in this one structure, we have a war going on between the two main characters in Riley's brain, joy and anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
that are fighting for who's going to take the right to lead Riley. And if you watch at the end of the movie, it end up being Joy.
That's right. That's right.
Because anxiety damn near killed her.
And was stuck.
Yes. And had no solution.
Stuck. Listen, I used to ride motorcycles, right? And I had to get some courage. So I was drinking a little bit. It's the only way I was gonna pull this stunt off. And I decided that I got off the highway, but the exit was more of a kind of going uphill a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped it down 2 gears and opened up the throttle. Bro, I never had a wheelie going that high and that long that I froze. Fear and anxiety a little bit. I froze, stuck like how anxiety was at control center.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit 12 o'clock where my license plates on my motorcycle literally touched the ground and scraped. And to this day, I got a scar on this elbow to this day. I don't know if I still got the helmet. It may be in storage somewhere. And my helmet was scraped up right here in the middle of my forehead. If I had my helmet on, it would have been a wrap. Right? All out of, I got in that moment of what you can call really adrenaline as well, which anxiety produces a lot of. But you can get stuck.
Yes.
And I literally froze out of fear that I didn't think about coming off the throttle or hitting the clutch to take the power away from the bike so I can bring it down. And I literally crashed out. Literally, bike went tumbling up the street. Literally, the bike was tumbling up the street.
Now,
So, yeah.
now, now, we've been doing this for a minute, y'all. I didn't seen just about everything come through this membership. I created a technique called Desert Storm specifically for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And tell people when they come in, if you're dealing with depression, anxiety, those things, you need to address that first.
Quickly.
Because hippocampus, you fighting, it's an exercise in futility, really. So look at this. Second, the hippocampus is closely involved with self-esteem. So you see how these, when you start to look at the neuroscience, you can see how they played the movie beautifully. The hippocampus is responsible for your memory database. So this is how Riley's self-concept of self was actually being created. So they're telling you here the hippocampus is closely involved with self-esteem. This makes sense given that the hippocampus is involved with autobiographical memory, i.e., they was down there in the room and with a whole bunch of TV screens everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
A key part of our sense of self and identity, how we feel about ourselves and the stories we tell ourselves and others about who we are. Key emphasis on the stories we tell ourselves. Neuroimaging research has shown, because remember, every time Joy plucked that cord, Riley will remember that she told herself, I'm a good person.
Mm-hmm.
So neuroimaging research has shown that the hippocampus is larger and more effective in people with greater self-esteem. Finally, the hippocampus is connected not just with psychiatric problems, but also plays a role in physical health. Research has shown, for example, that the hippocampus is smaller in size in type 2 diabetes, hypertension, chronic jet lag, and inflammation. The hippocampus is larger, on the other hand, in people with greater aerobic fitness, suggesting it may play a role in overall health. So this thing is not to be taken lightly, people. It's not to be taken lightly. Let me see here, Normal. If I close out of this thing and open this up, right? Move that up the screen. All right. Can y'all see me out there? Okay, I'm back. Okay, I see myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When somebody asks, do I still have it on the website? So that's not even something that's available on the site. Listen, I'm so private these days with this membership, man. Outside of when you see me talking on these YouTube streets, like all the techniques really that I got are basically for members. Now, that's not one that comes out at the end of the month. People have to request that. So if somebody wants to use Desert Storm, inbox me on Instagram, email me, The Imagination Guru. We could work something out, and I could put you on a regiment for Desert Storm if that's something that you feel like you need to use and or have. But it's not available on the website. It's an inside house type thing.
Right. Oh man, somebody had asked, "Oh, Pouchy." Y'all know who Pouchy is? I'm say remember in the movie Joy, well, Riley has a old like preschool type of cartoon figure that she used to watch, kind of look like a Chuck E. Cheese rat, and he has a magical pouch that talks, that comes up with different ideas. So if you ask Pouchy, hey Pouchy, how do we get out of here? He'll open up his pouch, which is his mouth, and he'd be like, I don't know. I have a tomato, I have a dynamite, and when do you think it get you out of here? He's one of those dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, how's a tomato gonna get me out of here? You know what I'm saying? So he's one of these dudes. But to show y'all how clever that these writers are on what the pouch is in the brain, here it is right here. Okay. So it could be what a Rothke's pouch, which in a nutshell is basically is giving rise to the anterior pituitary gland. Okay. So when they saying, "Hey, Pouchy," and mind you, this whole movie is about the brain. There
Mm-hmm.
is a structure that's in what. Well, I always say where the game is at. You don't I always say, bro, the game is in embryogenesis.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding the science in the beginning of the embryo got so much freaking jewels in it. It's just crazy. But anyway, um, the pituitary historically has been called the master gland. Now, I don't agree with that designation, but I'm just letting y'all know historically, I guarantee if you say, what's the master gland? The pituitary comes up because the brain, you have to understand, is an electrochemical brain. There's two sides of it to me that was one. There's some players on the electrical side, such as the hippocampus that stores memory, such as the amygdala, who stamps. The amygdala's job is like a notary. Its job is to stamp the incoming stimuli, the experience, as bad or good. But who's telling it that it's bad or good? That's the part you got to really pay attention to. We are. The amygdala can't do it without you. Oh, scared of spider. Oh, she's scared of spider.
Who,
Stamp.
who are we then? Who's the seer?
That's right. That's right. Which is really synonymous to my fella, which is the thalamus gland, the real all-seeing eye to me, because that's the information desk. It tells all stimuli where to be directed to in the brain, all besides smell. Smell is the only one that can slip in through the back door and don't have to go through the information that go to the information desk. All other senses, all stimuli must go past, it must go to the information desk, i.e., what we call the thalamus gland. And
Mm-hmm.
then on the electrical side of the brain, you got amygdala, and then you got hippocampus. Hippocampus is like a file cabinet because it's a library. But amygdala's job is to stamp the book and then put it on the appropriate shelf in the library. Good experience, bad experience. And that's what you see in this movie. Those little balls, those memories are being on a shelf. The shelf is the hippocampus. But what you charge it, those different colors, your amygdala is doing that based off of your perception of the thing that you're looking at. You better understand that. Our perception creates that because again, for men, me and you joke about this all the time because we got girls in the house. It's like, bro, we ain't tripping off no spider. We not tripping just because it's cicada season. We ain't tripping off cicadas. We ain't
No,
tripping. You know what I'm saying? You know. So, our perceptions of these things is what's stamping the experience. And then on the chemical side of the brain, you have where I will really say it's probably my favorite structure. You have the hypothalamus that sits below the all-seeing eye. And this is the master chemical maker. And the reason why I say the pituitary, the pituitary is like the bartender. His job is to serve the drinks, the chemicals
ice
in
and
the
cold.
body.
Keep them put them on
And
the
that's
rocks.
right. And that's why they call him the master. They call him the master because he's the one that's pretty much going throughout the bar, throughout the whole body, that's whipping up all this stuff. So he's like the bartender that's making the drinks, but he's not the chemical maker. The hypothalamus is the one that's going to the wholesale spot and bringing the 151 and the Bacardi, bringing everything so the pituitary gland can make it. So the pituitary gland on the chemical side got a boss, and on the back side of the pituitary gland, there's a pouch, an extra storage that is stores these extra chemicals from the boss, i.e., the hypothalamus. Look into the
Mm-hmm.
anatomy of the brain and figure
Listen,
this out.
y'all. We made a workbook
Yeah,
called
the mystic
the
brain.
Mystic Brain Workbook. That was what, Noble, 2012,
Yeah, yeah, in that pocket.
2013.
Yep.
We listen, we had multiple choice in there. We had crossword puzzles. Man, we've been
Yeah,
creating for a long time.
yeah, yeah.
And we would make these workbooks. This was back when I had something called the Neuron Network.
Facts. The neuron.
Before it was Inner Peace Outer Reflections Ministries, before it was Imagination Guru, it was the Neuron Network.
Yep.
Well, my sole purpose was to teach people exactly how their brains operated.
Yep.
Shout out to Justin. He's one of the few people that's still in the membership that was there around that time, where we used to have software on these computers where
Yeah.
it would have games to help you increase your cognitive ability.
Yep. Yep. Be like you playing Tetris and games like that and stuff. And yeah,
Somebody asking us though, man, I don't even know if we still got them files, man.
I got one hard copy at my other spot on the bookshelf, man. I would have to physically make copies of it, but I literally got one hard copy of it where I could put it in production. I could.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So um and then that hypothalamus that Noble mentioned,
That nigga make everything.
that's something, let me tell you what he's regulated by. There's a signal that goes from that hypothalamus to the front of the head, all the way to the back of the head. I think it's regulated by like 40 hertz or something. But the term that they use for it is called the binding factor. And it's a constant signal, several times. And so they are pointing to this as like the seat of consciousness where this thing is actually being housed. And I remember when I was studying that when I was looking at programming your inner space. That was a phenomenon that I came across, and I said, oh, that's the 40 days, 40 nights, Jew. That's to go be in the wilderness 40 days. That's the quote unquote frequency that's actually keeping this thing called consciousness, or that stream of consciousness, engaged into this physical reality. You know.
Yeah, man. When you said that, why you almost made me ask you a question. Who or what is God? But I ain't gonna do it.
I know, right?
You know. One more thing for sure. I don't want to forget this point. One of my favorite scenes in the movie for sure, and I was like, yo, this is really a technique, and this is free game. And this is something to really think about. So Joy, before anxiety and all of them came along, she had this technique that she would do where there was not such good thoughts before, because at the end of the night, Joy's job is to take the positive memories down to long-term memory. Okay. And if the thoughts were not necessarily so good thoughts, she will put them, like, y'all remember them old things when you used to go to the drive-through in the bank and you put your deposit in that thing, in that tube, and it's a vacuum and it suck it into the building so the people can get your check and stuff, and then they send it back and give you your money. She will put these not so good memories inside of this vacuum tube, and it will suck it up and throw it all the way, way into what they call the back of the mind, versus putting it in long-term memory. And I say, yo, that's fire. And I said, what was happening is it's boys, kind of like that serenity prayer. It's exactly like that serenity prayer. You know how that serenity prayer go, Jew? When it's like, Lord, give me the wisdom to,
God, grant me the serenity. How did it go, Jew? God, grant me the serenity. Protect me from the things. I forget it, but I know exactly.
The serenity prayers, like,
things I cannot
help me
change,
accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can.
That's it.
Exactly. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. The things that that to a degree you cannot change, right? And it really don't have no bearing on you right now in this life. Like it just don't have no bearing in your day to day. It really don't. You're just reminiscing on some old stuff, right? Toss it. Please. Literally see yourself tossing it. tossing it. Because see, if it has no bearing on you right now, right? We talking about, yo, I broke up with my high school girlfriend in the ninth grade, and I shouldn't have did it that way. And it's like, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. All I'm saying is it don't have no bearing on you. Toss it. Toss it to the back of the mind. See yourself just throwing it over there, because again, you're about to make something that's not a problem. And I'm only talking about something that's not a problem. You're about to make something that's not a problem, and you're trying to consolidate it into a long-term thing where it can become a problem.
Which is why Scripture tells us, uh, be angry, but sin not, and to never go to bed with that wrath in your heart. See, they were trying to emphasize the moment you stir something up in your psychology, and you take it with you over and over and over and over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
you are going to become that at some point,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so this is the famous phrase when people be like, uh, you can hate something so much till you become the thing that you hate.
Mm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Or and if you don't become it, it impacts somebody so close to you that it might as well be you.
Man,
You know.
man, man.
But yeah, man. If y'all ain't seen Inside Out 2, go check it
Yeah,
out,
check it
man.
out, man. Check it out. One of the earlier things they gave you too is turn your anger into passion. Please turn your anger into passion. They're
Mm-hmm.
very closely related. They are of the fire element. And in the beginning, when Joy was introducing the emotions and Riley, and like literally the opening scene, when anger came out, Riley's playing hockey on ice while the emotions are in the head, narrating the story. And so when it was anger turn to be introduced, Joy got more passionate when she was making her hockey move and scored. And so I was like, yeah, that, which is it's one of the obvious ones, but sometimes it's just not that obvious too. Turn your anger into passion. You know what I mean? Turn that fire into passion. And I'm not necessarily saying if you don't have nothing you can identify with that you're angry about, but it's a fiery energy that's there. You know what I'm saying? Turn that, like literally direct that, and that'll serve you well.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So where you at? No, let the people know where you at, man.
Man, I'm over here on Patreon, man. I'm having a ball. Having a time of my life over here for real. It's very fun. Kind of give y'all guys an idea what we got. I mean, just even in the testimonial, the Patreon is just turning 1 years old, literally just one. And it's 59 testimonials in this thing. That's all this year. I'm not even going in the vault and getting old stuff. This is all new stuff that's going on. You see people manifesting checks for, they did a couple days ago last week, 451. Somebody got an unexpected check. So shout out to Lolita, 4388 in there. Oh, hey, I got one too, $4,000. You know what I'm saying? So I get in the zone. Shout out to Mimi for coming in here and them two helping each other out too. Shout out to my man El Boki for helping somebody land a job and stuff. I mean, people winning lottery. I can go to the lottery chat over here and just show you and stuff, man. But sometimes I'll be feeling like I'm being redundant and whatnot. Shout out to the elder. She may be in the chat, Miss Arlette. She was on a call with us last night, and she had talked about how for 4 years she has been fighting to obtain some money that was just that was due to her for 4 years, and she recently got approved, and she's like, hey, and I got the video on here, but she's like, hey, I started reprogramming myself and telling myself I got money in the mail, money in the mail, money in the mail, money in the mail. And the moment that I did that, it came. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here on Patreon. It's only $15 a month. Would love to have you. I'm a little, I listen, y'all. I got real estate. I do real estate stuff. I do astrology stuff. We're doing Kabbalah stuff. And with the Kabbalah stuff, shout out to B Smitty. He was here earlier. We created a module for you to go into and learn the 22 letters and their beauty. um, and within that module you have to know the numerical value of the letter. That's important. Why is that important? Because you may see a certain number all the time, and say if you see the number 311, 311 is the numerical value for the angel Raphael. So there may be, your subconscious may be trying to get you, or what you would like to say, the angelic beings may trying to be getting your attention, that there's something that needs to deal with some healing. But you always thought about doing holistic healing. And this is why you're really seeing the number 311. You're not seeing the number 311 to say 3 plus 1 is 5. That's not why you're seeing it. You're seeing it because it's an angelic number that represents Raphael. And so to be able to understand the numerical values is important. I love to give an example. Like I was talking to Jew the other day, man. I was like, man, how they constructed this language. Like if they did this with the intent, this is off the chain. And Jew was like, no, this is what they did, right? And I'm like, when you look at the name David, for example, David name consists of 3 letters in Hebrew, literally 3 letters. Okay, 3 letters. All right, and I know y'all probably can't really picture this, so let me show y'all something real quick just to show you the beauty of what I'm talking about. Let me do it this way here. All right, so David, his name literally consists of 3 letters, and these are not the 3 letters, but this would be his name: Daleth, Valve, which is the V, and another Daleth. Okay, and so this is DVD in a sense, and you write Hebrew from right to left. And see, this is why in English it says Dawood on the right, DWD, because in Arabic, David is Dawood, because in Hebrew, the V and the W are the same letter. Okay. And so this is how you say David. Do you know literally that this letter right here corresponds to the planet Venus? And Venus literally is the planet of love. Do you know that this letter right here, what they say is the W, corresponds to the zodiac sign Taurus? And the planet that rules Taurus is Venus, the planet of love. And then again, we got this Daleth again, which we said corresponds to Venus, which is love. So technically, David is Venus, 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 the planet of love. And his name literally means beloved. That's what David's name means. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, he's he's the triple goddess.
Oh, he's the triple god. Oh, yeah. He ain't playing around. You know what I'm saying? But see, David's story is a very interesting story, man. It's a very interesting cat, because how he got Bathsheba is very interesting. And
they was both dirty.
oh yeah. And then his son Suleiman, or Shaloma, Solomon, Solomon is the one who become, Solomon, my man. That's my guy right there, because
he passed it down to him. He passed.
Solomon was a sugar daddy, but that ain't why he my man. But he was just cool. He had it, and so Solomon's job was to, his thing was, okay, yeah, build your temple to your goddess, baby. Build a temple to your god. You got it. Go ahead. That's your thing. This ain't nothing but some money. I got you. You good. You good. And that didn't make God mad. Solomon didn't die and get punished for that. Solomon, it didn't happen. And you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, that's the sugar daddy state of consciousness. That's when niggas got the bag. When we got the, go ahead, girl, you good. Here's a black car, beat it, go. Right? It's that kind of move. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, this
street gospel, y'all.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
don't
I
know
used
nothing
to
about the
teach it. Yeah,
street gospel.
I used to teach a thing. I used to teach a class called the Street Gospel. Just give it to you straight up. But we're in this bag, really showing you the mysticism here. And what we're doing in our modules, man, literally where you can sign in, you have lifetime access to it. There is an additional $40 fee for that because B took his time to create it, but you got lifetime access to that. And you can learn. And the video is there, the cards is there, and showing you how to learn this beautiful system. And when I say beautiful, I'll give you one more example real fast, and I absolutely promise I'll come off of it. Because to me, man, if you're gonna understand this Bible, especially when you're dealing with the Old Testament, you're gonna have to come on over. You absolutely gotta you're gonna have to deal with this Hebrew. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it, right? And so when you looking at, which is the base word, let's just deal with the base word. In here, shalom. This is how you say shalom, which means peace, right? Now, dig how smart they are. This letter right here is the letter shin, and it represents fire because it looks like a fire flame. And fire is the masculine component in creation.
Mhm.
And this letter here is Lamet, which
Got it.
corresponds to Libra, which means balance. Okay, Libra, the Libra scales. Okay, now when you see this letter, it's called the vowel, which is
The
really,
nail.
yeah, the nail, which connects you, and these two need to be in, actually they need to be in a different spot. It's this way. All right, so so shalom. Okay. And so now this is Libra, the balance. This is the connecting, because the nail connects one thing to another thing. Think about that. That's what a nail does. It connects one thing to another thing. And this means water, which is feminine. So you mean to tell me peace literally represents when your fire is in balance and connected to your feminine. Fire is passion, water is feminine, or fire is conscious. And what we tell you earlier, the stream of consciousness when they was going through that river, right,
Mhm.
was water. That's feminine, the subconscious. So to be in a state of peace literally means when your conscious and your subconscious are in a state of balance, or when your masculine passion is also in a state of balance and connected to the thing
Mhm.
you feel the most, your emotion. And
Mhm.
that's what peace means. So English does absolutely no good with these things because these words have cosmic principles attached to them. That's the beauty about it. So it's literally a language that's a celestial code. That's what it is. So I got some papers that I just wrote that's already published inside of there. We got a chat that's over here. It's called the Light of Kabbalah. We got a good morning chat that's off the chain. So we'll love to have you on the Patreon. Again, it's only $15 a month, man. So, and let me say this real fast. Roger, I don't know what you on, but you own something. Now you know I have been, and you call me June, you listen to it, right?
Mhm.
And he got this question. Now he's saying, "Does complaining destroy the great Zechariah in your mind?" Now watch this, Jew. Now you've heard me listening to Arabic when you've called me for the last week, right?
Right.
Because I'm studying this Arabic prayer known as the Ayatul Kursi, which is the way this guy said it. It's absolutely one of the most beautiful prayers I ever heard in my life, right? So it inspired me to want to learn Arabic because Arabic has always kind of eluded me since I know Hebrew and the letters is related, but the way that it's written in this calligraphy, it eludes my little simple pea brain. And so I get a phone call from a guy about 3 days ago, Jew, and he wants to see the office building next door to me, right? So
Mhm.
I said, okay, I come over there, I meet him over there at the spot at the office. And I said, what's your name, bro? And he says, Zachariah.
Mm.
I said, oh, like the prophet. And he's a Somali Muslim because where we at, we got a heavy Somali Muslim
Presence.
population.
Right.
And he's like, what you know about that? And he said, who uncle is he? I said, John the Baptist. And he's like, oh my God, brother, you know. So he hyped. But I really know dude is only here because I kept saying, I want somebody to teach me Arabic. I even called the masjid and asked the dude to teach Arabic, and they don't teach Arabic. That's how bad I want to learn it. So this
Mhm.
dude pops up and called me, so I know why he's really here, though, right?
Right.
And so we rapping, we talking, and long story short, how about this? He is the web designer of the masjid down the street where the Somalis go,
Mhm.
and gave me the program director's number who teaches Arabic. But his name is Zachariah. And so I had to go back and I'm like, why Zachariah? Now, what's the purpose of Zachariah? And when you look at that name, really, you hear a Z, a K, and an R. And at the end, you can have an H, right? Zikr. And see, in Arabic, zikr, that's why they have zikr beads. The Muslims have zikr beads. It means to remember.
Right.
Now, how you gonna remember without a hippocampus?
You cannot.
You can't. You can't. Right? And so I said, okay, all right. So to answer that question, though, Roger, you want something? I just met Zechariah. But does complaining destroy the great Zechariah? I'm going to say yes because I know that Zecher, when you look at the very first part of his name, that means to remember, and remember is the hippocampus, and that's what Minister Jew shows. So my answer would be yes.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. This is a little extended build. We usually be on
Yeah,
about an hour,
yeah, man.
but man, the people still here. They enjoying it. A great build tonight. Man, y'all join the Patreon, man. If you looking for Jew, y'all know where to find me. TheImaginationGuru.com. I put the link down in the description box below. Roger in the chat. We do have class webinar this Sunday. Going to be a phenomenal presentation, man. Just shared a video yesterday from Miss Crystal, and shout out to Crystal, man. She said she was a little shy, but she went on, got it done for me, man. I
That's
appreciate
what's up.
that.
That's what's up.
Um, she made me a video, man. The sister, um, wanted to make some modifications in a working experience, which she did, and she went over there and put a new memory in the hippocampus. Is what people call today visualization.
Yeah.
And she put a new memory over there, and she said the interview, it went exactly how she role played the interview in her mind. Uh, and They hired her, and she's making $10,000 more annually. So she's happy. She's ecstatic about that. If y'all want to check that video out, you can check that video out here on my YouTube page. I think I uploaded it yesterday or the day before, one of the two. So you want to check that out, man. But it's over there for people who want to be inspired or see other people, man. This is what we do this for. We like to show the real receipts from real people because it matters, man. Y'all got to be able to see people who look like you or even people who don't look like you, because I tell you now, I don't discriminate. I'm not on that thing about, I'm not on the race thing, man. This is a universal message for anybody and for any and everybody who's willing to implement it, practice it. Um, my goal is to spread the ministry as far and wide as possible. I saw somebody said they were over here, caught me on Black Magic 363. I appreciate the support. Thank you for subscribing. Um, I'm glad you're enjoying the content, man. But outside of that, man, that's where you can find me, the Imagination Guru at gmail.com, or you can follow me on Instagram, the Imagination Guru. It's literally a hippocampus over there. Anywhere I've ever been is a hippocampus.
Yeah, a lot better.
Anywhere. Whether you go to Anpu's old, well, not old, his Facebook page. I used to post over there regularly, Noble Anpu Galileo. It's a library over there.
Years worth, literally.
Years, I mean 5-6 years worth of man. You go back some of them posts, like crazy bananas. You go back through some of them Instagram posts, crazy bananas. You go through some of these old YouTube videos, crazy bananas. So somebody was in here saying they would be, I think that was the other Crystal. She said she's willing to pay for some of them old footage we got, man.
Yeah. I gotta find that. I gotta find it. It's formatted on a hard drive when I had a MacBook, and so I got to go through the tote and look for that. But that Mystic Brain workbook, y'all, yeah, y'all can see that's coming. Y'all can look out for that. So that's coming. So make sure y'all in
Absolutely.
the make sure y'all in the private ministry with Minister Jew. Make sure you in the Patreon. But that because I got the whole hard copy right there. So
Yeah, man.
that's coming
Really,
too.
really, and it's a little bit more technical, man. Boy, we was going in,
Woo! Man,
man.
that's science right there, man. Ain't nothing philosophical about that one. That's a
No,
science.
look, somebody said we need a galactic activation. Boy,
Oh,
Anpu, we about a month ago we was talking about it because boy, we saw some stuff we ain't like going on, man. But I don't know, man. It's gonna take a lot to move that, push that button.
Miss Gemini, don't talk like that. We can't
Please
talk
don't.
like that.
Please don't.
No.
We're mature. We're much more mature.
Yeah. Yeah.
We at least so we think. Because nobody today I had to push the moment button.
Oh, he pushed the button.
I had to push the button moment.
He called me. See, I'm just why I'm gonna shoot it straight.
Shooting it straight.
Yeah, I was in awe. I still am, man. For real, for real. Like that really happened. Like,
You
but
know,
anyway,
but no, man, no. Nah, But anyways, we ain't gonna talk about that any further. But listen, man, join the membership, join the Patreon, man. The most value that you're gonna get for your dollar around these parts. Oh,
oh,
and let me say this before we get out of here.
easy.
The manifestation gala is happening here in the
Yeah.
Chicagoland area, October the 5th.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, y'all. Listen, we got enough members that it could be an all members event, and I really want all members to come versus anybody just coming. Yeah, I heard of you guys. Nah, we really want the members to come because you guys really deserve it. And I'm telling you now, we got way more than enough members to pack this thing out. For real, for real. All right.
Yes.
So please come because we might only make it available to members. Members gonna get first dibs for sure, but
Yeah.
it may not make it to the general public if you're not a member. Seriously. So
Yes. And
get with
and the,
us.
and the venue that we have, I think what they said, what I tell you the other day, no, I think they said it seats about 160
150. Yeah,
comfortably,
yeah, 150, 160 in that
something
part.
like that. Very black owned business, west suburb. If
Yeah,
you're flying into Chicago, I suggest you fly into O'Hare. It's about 20-minute drive from O'Hare Airport.
yeah,
So if you're going to Uber, you'll be fine. If you plan on renting a car for the weekend, you'll be fine. Um, but yeah, man, it's going to be a gala. So everybody, I want y'all to come dressed to the nine. Sisters, I need y'all to be fine. Wearing y'all dresses. I want everybody to come top tier. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be food, catered food, the whole nine, you
yeah,
know. So
yeah,
that's what we doing, man. That's what we doing. So more details for that will be coming here shortly. I'm going to build a website, a standalone website for that, where you can purchase your tickets independently. So it's not going to be on my site. I'll make a designated site for that.
yeah,
Uh, and that's it, man. And
yeah.
we locked and loaded.
Saturday, October 5th.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yep. That's what it is. That's what it
Absolutely,
is.
man. So that's what it is, man. So listen, man, I'm gonna be back on these YouTube streets, man. I got a couple titles, man. I'm working on. Um, Alchemy in the Bible was one subject. Then another
Hey,
subject
God.
I had
What was the other one?
was
What was it?
was
Gods versus what?
uh
Gods.
oh yeah.
What
Uh
was it? It
what
wasn't
was that?
gods
No,
and
it was
consciousness. It
uh
wasn't gods and consciousness.
no,
Gods and
it was God's versus consciousness.
yeah, gods versus consciousness. Yeah,
That's another one that we got
yeah,
to touch on. And then
yeah,
another one was because
yeah,
I got to clear the room for the people on the fence, with people who still kind of like coming from the church vibe. So my
yeah,
another video that I have is Jesus God?
yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna have some
yeah.
fun.
Hey, we got something, man. We got something. We got a joint that's good. We got the word of God, and I'm telling y'all right now. I'm telling you right now. these cats were dealing with astronomy, and it is something in the sky that they're cleverly, because remember, why was it that a cloud kept following Moses? So I'm telling you, it's something that we're gonna really crack that's gonna blow your mind. So yeah, man, stay abreast with us.
Yeah, man. So look, man, we gonna holler at y'all later. Every happy Friday in advance to all my members. I see y'all Sunday afternoon, 12 noon Eastern. We be locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, and donate to the ministry too, man. If you've been inspired, hit the Cash App, man. Donate to the ministry, man. We appreciate everything and all the support. That's what it is, man. Holla.
Yep. Peace.